Hey guys, how's it going? This is Eric Hits for the win. Gonna talk some 360 because if you don't know by now, they are going to discontinue the Xbox 360. That's it. No more. It's move on to the Xbox One or something else. So it's when I saw the news, I don't know. I didn't really feel anything about it, but it's kind of sad when I think about it because I have so many memories when it comes to the 360. It was my favorite console of last generation. And the reason I'm so nitpicky on the Xbox One, it's because I constantly question it. Like, how do you go from the 360 to this? Because the 360 set such a high standard. It was just such a complete system. It raised the bar when it came to the online experience, the just user-friendly UI that it had, everything about it, from the controller to the games to, like I said, the online aspect of it. It was just such a good console. And so I wanted to talk about it, kind of share some memories and just my history with it and everything. Let me know what you guys are thinking about it. What's some memories that you have? You can think about yours as you're listening to this commentary. So yeah, I kind of came into the Xbox 360 kind of late. I didn't get one until 2008 when Gears of War 2 came out. Up until then, my uncle had one. And if you guys don't know by now, my uncle was like a huge inspiration for me when it came to video games. He pretty much showed me everything. All the consoles I got my hands on was because of him. And he's only like 5 years older than me. He was kind of like an older brother. Still is, you know? He's just always been that influence in my life. So he would show me games from the 360. I remember just going over to visit, and he would always have something new to show me, whether it was a demo or a new game that he just got, or trailers, because that was kind of a big thing. You can look at the trailers from your console, and he would always show me these games that were up and coming, and we would just hang out that way. We would bond that way, and he would always try and tell me, you know, why don't you get a 360? It's so awesome. We can play online. We can do this. We can do that. We could share games. You know, he had a whole list for me. And at that time, I was working pretty much paycheck to paycheck. I was living on my own with roommates and stuff like that. And I didn't really have a lot of money to just kind of splurge on things. So I would tell him, okay, well, I'll save some money and then maybe, because right now, like, it's just too hard. So that kind of went on for a year or so. I just, wasn't that, I guess, motivated because I had other things to worry about. I had car payment, I had rent, I had just a lot of things going on, and at that time I had the Wii. Since 2006, I bought that launch week. And back then, I was still into Nintendo. I still believed in Nintendo and I was still supporting Nintendo. So I was cool with it. I was like, well, I have my Wii. Maybe in the future I'll get a 360. Maybe. And I would just always tell him that. And then one day he was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to buy you one. You can pay me back. You can do it in payments. I don't care. Let's just go get it. And so we just up and went and got it. And I'll never forget that day because I remember being pumped up for it. I really wanted it at that time because by that time, Gears of War 2 came out. And when I saw that game, it just changed everything. Even though I kind of felt that with the first Gears of War, I thought it was awesome, especially when he was showing me the game and especially that Berserker part. I knew this was something special, but for whatever reason, like I said, I just didn't have the money or whatever. I waited. And then when Gears of War 2 came out, I just couldn't wait anymore. So I was like, yes, let's go get it. That was it. I mean, the rest is pretty much history. I, of course, played Gears of War 2 like crazy. The online was just groundbreaking. It was just so different. Just the fact that I was able to get online and play games with other people, talk to other people on my headset, all of that was just so new to me and so different because the generation before that, when the original Xbox was doing that and the PS2, you guys were all getting online with those systems, but I didn't have those systems. I just had the GameCube. So, like I said, I was all about Nintendo and supporting Nintendo. And around that time when I got out of high school and the GameCube was out and everything, I had other things, kind of going on. I was starting to work. I was starting to prepare to, just grow up and try and move out and things like that. I was meeting new friends. And so my mind wasn't 100% on video games. I loved to game. Don't get me wrong. I had my GameCube. I was cool, but I didn't really know about playing online and stuff like that. So the 360 was really my first system where I had that online experience, and it was just so revolutionary to me. I just felt like this is amazing. And even though Gears of War 2 had incredible problems, I loved it so much. And I think that's part of the reason why I just really love that game, and I hold it dear to my heart. And I'll say for a lifetime that was the best Gears, hands down, just because of my experience with it and just how good the single player was, the story, everything was just awesome about that game. So that's like my number one memory. When I think about the 360, I think about playing online with like my cousins and just new people I was meeting, and then raging online. I used to rage so hard with Gears 2 because of the problems and the lag and all of that, the cheaters, everything. And it was just good times. When I think about it, it's like, man, I remember all those times when like I was just beasting with the sniper and I was just doing my thing. I was really good at Gears 2. And it just sucks because I didn't really have good quality equipment to record my gameplays or anything like that. I started to dabble in it though, because I was very inspired by Gears of War YouTubers and just their live commentaries and stuff like that. It really was like a whole community of just gearheads, and I was just so pumped up about this franchise. It quickly became my favorite because of the community and just my overall experience and everything. So because of the YouTube community and all of that, I started to get inspired to record my gameplay because they were sharing their hype moments and stuff like that. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to show my headshots. I wanted to show some funny moments and stuff like that. So that's really what got me going when it comes to YouTube. And it just kind of just went on from there. And I just sort of evolved from that. Some other memories I have with the 360 besides Gears is Red Dead Redemption. I remember when we first got that game, Kenny and I were really excited about this game. We got the poster and everything, and I just remember playing that game and thinking, this is the most gorgeous game I've ever seen. And it really was. For the time, I felt like this game is just beautiful. And I remember that feeling of just taking in those graphics. And I feel like I did that a lot with the 360 because it was such a leap. You know, I was coming from the Wii and Nintendo systems. And of course, I played other systems like the PS2 and all of that. You know, I was able to get my hands on the systems at times. But coming from those and going into the 360, it was just such a huge leap. And I remember just awing and my jaw was dropped for these graphics because they were just so clean. They were so good. And that leap was just incredible. And that's something I'm always going to remember when I played these games like Red Dead. Even games like Battlefield 3, Modern Warfare 2, that was kind of like a huge leap. As far as Call of Duty, just in general, I remember seeing that Predator missile come down for the first time. And I just thought that's freaking awesome. And I was huge into Modern Warfare 2. Played that a lot. The first Black Ops, Call of Duty 4. Like I said, Battlefield 3. I had a blast on my 360 playing Battlefield 3. What else? Fable 2. Fable 2 was amazing. That was one of my favorite games on the 360. I put a lot of hours in that game. Skyrim. Don't even get me started on Skyrim. That game stole my life for like 3 months straight. I remember it was during the winter, and Kenny, he found 2 used copies of Skyrim really, really cheap. He got his PS3 version, and then I had my 360 version. And I used to tease him because that game for the PS3 was kind of messed up. The frame rates were kind of bad, the load times. I remember that. I remember catching him falling asleep because he was waiting for the game to load. And I would tell him, you know, you're falling asleep. Is it really taking that long? And he would wake up like, what happened? He was all confused. I remember that. Like, we had such really fun memories. I remember just, you know, he had his PS3, he was playing his games, and I had my 360, and sometimes we would play on each other's systems and stuff like that. And then later on, I ended up getting into the PS3 really late, but it was because of him. You know, I had access to it because of him, and it all kind of started from there as far as me, you know, playing games on the PS3, and The Last of Us kind of kicked that off. But going back to the 360, when I really think about what I loved so much about it, just really what made it so great, was that online. That freaking Xbox Live was just everything. I mean, I met so many people just from playing Gears of War and Call of Duty and stuff like that. I had my family to play with. My cousins were all on there. That was the system. It was really what brought us all together, and we were able to hang out even though we weren't in the same house or whatever, and we were able to play games, and it was just so much fun. So I'm always really gonna remember that stuff. All my gearheads that I played with, especially for Gears of War 3, I mean, we had some really good times. So when I think back to this system, I'm always gonna smile because it was just such a great system, and like I said in the beginning of the video, it became the standard and what I expect from an online experience because it was just that good. So when its successor doesn't do things as easily or as user-friendly, yeah, I nitpick because how could I not? The 360 just perfected so many things, and it was just good. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make a quick video. This isn't very quick, but I just wanted to, just off the top of the head, come up with some of my favorite memories. And I have a lot more specific ones. Gears and Beers, of course, was awesome. Just being up late, spending a bunch of hours on those multiplayers that I really loved. That's really what I'm always going to remember with the 360. So rest in peace, 360. You're going to be missed. I'll still have my Gears of War 3 360. Never going to get rid of it. It's too hard to do it. So yeah, I still got that. Still got my games. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Catch you guys later. Peace.